Also Park. So let's start off with applause for that. There's a lot of people here today that are going to say a lot about Claire, so I won't say anything much about her. They can do it more eloquently than me. The only thing I have to ask if she had all of her marbles, because she was the Neighborhood Association president for 18 years. I can't imagine anybody doing that for 18 years. So that's a tribute to her. I want to introduce some dignitaries that are here today in the audience and up front. First of all, Paul Cunningham, Ward 2 council member. Current claim to Claire Weeks, Terra del Sol Park. And then Shirley Scott, council member from Ward 4, former council member for this park. In Ward 2, Ted Przewski is here, one of Paul's aides. And then an intern, Jim Miller, is here. John, I'm sorry. And then with Councilmember Scott's office is Renee Sowards and Lonnie Patel. Our Deputy Director for Parks and Recreation, Greg Jackson, is here in the back. Jim Conroy is our East Park District Administrator. Glenna Overstreet is Superintendent, and also Midge Erlin is here, Superintendent. Also joining us from the Police Department today, who also does a lot of work in this area, Carla Johnson is the captain for this area. And Lieutenant John Buckley. So speaking today, and I'll introduce them one at a time, but first the former president of the Neighborhood Association is Michael Hagedorn. And then Frank Davidson, neighborhood representative, and Dale Whitaker. So let's get straight to the agenda now and let the people that are important talk about some things. And so I'd like to introduce Councilmember Paul Cunningham from Ward 2. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? On this beautiful Tucson January afternoon. I'll tell you, you get weather like this, we should do this every day. First thing is, the legacy is complete. This is the first time I've ever met Miss Weeks, just 20 seconds ago. And I can tell you that I'm humbled and honored to meet her, and that this neighborhood is very special, not because of just your work, but because of you being here. And this park is part of the legacy that you brought in bringing this neighborhood together. Ward 2 is very lucky to have had Terra del Sol join recently. But this park and the work that Miss Weeks has done in this past many years has really been a product of a partnership between herself and the Vice Mayor. And so I'm not going to take too much out of what the Vice Mayor is going to say, but I will say this. Her son, is it son or son-in-law? Son-in-law, Ken Birchie, has been in Ward 2 for a number of years. And in this past 2 years, he's worked very hard side by side with us. So whatever civic duty that has inspired Miss Weeks, she's passed it on, and it continues. It will continue for generations to come. And again, Ward 2 is lucky to have such a wonderful park here, and it's going to be appropriately named. So again, I just thank you for being here and allowing me to be part of this. I can't wait to get a big old band out there in the gazebo in the next couple months, maybe this summer. So without further ado, I really think we should give a big round of applause to both Miss Weeks and the Vice Mayor for all the work that's gone on here. Let's have a great Tucson afternoon. Bear down and go Wildcats. Thank you. And now from Ward 4, Councilmember Shirley Scott, who's also the Vice Mayor serving this term. Thank you.
Well, about 18 years ago, we started together, working on various things that were missing in Ward 4. And when I came into office, we started talking about back-to-school funding, not back what was it, back to basics, money. We actually had money in those days, and we don't have those monies anymore. And I came to the neighborhood association and I said, we have a certain amount of money that is available to you as a neighborhood, and it's up to you to help decide how to best utilize these funds. And so, by a great leadership with Claire, who worked diligently with you, sent out a survey, asked you what you would like. You already had sidewalks, you already had street lights, and this park, as I recall, was filled with people who were not from the neighborhood doing dastardly deeds rather than wonderful community things. And so the idea came from you that an improvement to this park might be the best way to go, to invest in this neighborhood. And that's where it started. I mentioned that I was a gazebo-aholic. The city does not have any psychological courses for that. However, that was included not because I insisted, but because we thought it might be a draw for the families and people to utilize for almost any purpose you can think of. It's my understanding that over the years, many very nice events have occurred here, including get-togethers, weddings, and other community events that were very positive. So the bad guys were chased out, the good guys came in, and the pool parking lot was paved with that money. This playground equipment came in. All of these amenities came in at that time. And it wasn't just a question of, this is what we want, let's do it tomorrow. It was a question of getting everybody involved. So I want to salute you as a neighborhood for working so well together under the good leadership of Claire to get this thing done. And I'm so honored, Claire, that we have this day today with you to honor you for all your good work here. You know, no good deed goes unpunished from my side of the fence. As soon as we finish this beautiful park and everything is clean and everybody's happy, they say, well, it's no longer a part of your jurisdiction. I find that sort of the reward for being an elected official. But I'm very proud to hand over the gauntlet, if you will, to Mr. Cunningham, who will very ably take over and be your representative from now on. You know, they did this with the redistricting and the census, and whenever there's a change in the census, they take from Ward 4. Always. So I do hand you over into very good hands. I'm sure these folks will be with you, come to your neighborhood meetings and answer those requests that you have. I'm sure you continue to do the great things you've always done, is keep this place in good order, including graffiti abatement. Hey, Paul, right there. Okay, still on it. But you do the cleanup of the wash. You have done a wonderful job of maintaining this park. But this is your day, Claire, and I am very glad to salute you, and it's a pleasure to have worked with you and your neighborhood association for all these years. Thank you so much, and we certainly hope you will come and visit your park as often as you can. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Michael Hagedon, who's the former president of the Neighborhood Association.
Thank you all for coming. I'm going to read a biography of Claire written by the family. Claire Jolicoeur was born in Woonsocket, Rhode Island in 1934. She married Joseph Weeks and moved to Tucson with her husband and 3 sons in 1969. The family bought a house in Terra del Sol, and she continues to live in that same house. Claire and her husband, Joseph, were always active in the neighborhood. A couple of years after her husband passed away, she became president of the Terra del Sol Neighborhood Association. She worked tirelessly for over 4 years to point to Claire as one who exemplifies the best in citizenship and neighborhood participation. I can think of no one more deserving of having a park named after them than Claire Weeks.
Next up, representing the Neighborhood Association, neighborhood representative is Frank Davidson. And as Frank's coming up, it's my understanding Frank does a lot of work in the park almost on a daily basis, cleaning up graffiti and everything that needs to be done. So we're going to give him a little time off to give this speech, and then we're going to get him back to work. So he can finish his stuff.
I was just telling him when I get done, I'll go over and paint this gray paint. I didn't catch it. Boy, they got me. See, I got everything else cleaned up, but oh. Yeah, she started the neighborhood association. She did VIP. She went downtown and read for the blind. I have an uncle in Cleveland, Ohio that went blind at 21 and started a blind bowling league. So I know how blind people appreciate people reading for them or getting stuff like that, books on tape so they can hear it or on records. Went down to the city council many times with her as a board member and represented it and said, hey, we need this and that, we need to do this and that, we don't agree with that, we should vote this way. In fact, I got something on, I don't know what it is. She bought and sold a bunch of t-shirts like this in the neighborhood, came up with that idea, started a senior group in this neighborhood that gets together once a month at a particular church or organization area, and then they decide where are we going to go and eat lunch and things, so we stay in contact with other people, and if some of them need help, go to doctors and places like that. We're trying to get together and do that. She helped put together a neighborhood phone directory. We got a bunch of people together and got it printed up, and in that directory is people, again, that need that kind of help can look in that directory. I've had several people call me on computers. I used to do computer work before the military. You've had ice cream socials in this park, and like they said, we've seen many weddings. The wife looked out the door one day because I live right across the street. What's going on? Oh, it's a wedding. She ran over and took some pictures. She talked about helping update the park. That's exactly what happened. And it's funny, you can see how the neighborhood is obviously very diverse after we updated this park. Why did you pick purple for that and blue for that? Then we said, well, we got a little money left over. We'll put in some sidewalks. You mean I paid for my sidewalk and this guy got it free? No, that's your tax money coming back, so you didn't get it free. So. That's all I have, thanks.
Now another neighborhood representative is Dale Whitaker.
Thank you. I think most of you know me. I've served as treasurer for several years while being a member of the association. And the reason we are here today, I have a couple of comments about Claire. Several of them have already been said, but I'm still going to present my speech. I've known Claire, like many of them, over 18 years. I think I probably met her before then, but when she took over as the president of the league, or of the association, and looking back at this park, there has been large activities going on. And if you look back at who was behind these activities, you would find Claire Weeks. The park project started not only with the park, but as has been said, the sidewalks. We put in sidewalks from the outlying areas so the kids could walk on sidewalks coming to school. And in 2000 or early 2001 is when this started. Claire got the committee together. There was about 12 or 15 of us. And I see several of you here in the audience today. How about raising your hands if you were on that committee? Come on. Well, I see about a half a dozen, or half of us maybe. My wife didn't raise her hand, but she was here anyhow. We met several times, this committee, and we decided as to what we wanted to do with the money. And we got with the parks, the Tucson Parks and Recreation Department, and the architect. Shortly after that, the architect put our plans on paper, and things started to work. In October of 2001, you could see the activity starting. They came in with backhoes, front-end loaders, and started tearing up the park. And then in February, the equipment started arriving.
Is everybody ready? Should we have a countdown? All right, let's start at 5. Ready? 5,
4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Awesome, man. That is cool.
Definitely. Get in her chair and come on over and just sit and we'll take pictures. That'd be wonderful if she feels like she can.
Oh, it fell.
There you go. Honoree. There you go. More flowers. More flowers. Beautiful. Smile pretty. Hey, Renee.
Mom wants you guys in it. Mom wants you guys in it. Yeah, where's Audra? Over there. Lyndon. Pam.
Well, he can't get in there.
Ken. Ken.
I'm holding the camera here.
take a picture with that one?
Great.